Well, it's a pretty quiet day. I'm not feeling the best. Thankfully, it's pretty quiet the last couple days. There's a few lambs here and there, and everything's going smooth. Couple fresh lambs. They're both nice big size. Welcome to the world, buddy. When a lamb gets up and stretches, that's like premium. You want them to get up from a nice sleep, big stretch, twist their tail a little bit. That means that's a healthy, happy lamb. This guy's shivering a little bit because they're born in the world soaking wet. The same day that lambs are born, I'll give them a tube of colostrum and also check the teats of the ewe to make sure both sides of her udder have milk. And I've been finding a few of them. Yesterday was really bad. I think I had 4. One side's bad, or I had one that there's some kind of odd lump in the udder. Any kind of udder abnormalities is going to cause a problem down the road, especially if there's twins. So if one side is bad and she had 2 or 3, I will leave her with only one. I will mark it down in the book and make sure that she goes. She's not going to be here next year, and make sure that I pull that lamb. Got a couple new orphans in this pen here today. One of them's really not doing good. It's really tough when they're young and they were just born, but if the mother has no milk, there's no point leaving them on there. Just give them as much colostrum as I can and hope for the best. Then I have to really watch them. I'll tube them a few times while they're in the orphan pen just to get them going. These orphan lambs have 2 buckets that they love, and these 2 buckets are full, but they refuse to touch them until they've drank both of those. So they go crazy over these 2, and then they think they're starving to death until they decide, oh, there's 2 more in this pen. You guys are driving me nuts. There's one lamb in this pen that's not doing great. He has not figured out how to suck the nipple off of the bucket yet. So I'll just make sure that there's nothing blocking it and he's got a clear shot at some good milk. This is something important I'd do a few times a day, especially when you getting him started. Just hold his head up here. And he's kind of got it figured out. He didn't earlier, but you can kind of tell there's a moment when it snaps. This guy had that earlier. I wish I had it on camera, but you can do a few different tricks. Like I'll just pinch the rubber in their mouth and get some milk in there, or put my hand on their jaw and pinch it back and forth, just so they get an idea that, hey, if I suck on that, I'm gonna get a snack. And that's what he needs. He's really tiny though, so. We got this fresh one in here. By the way she's looking at me, I think she would just prefer if I left, but I'm gonna get her some colostrum in there soon. When I was at the doctor today, the water ran out, so these girls are a little bit thirsty. Anything you'd like to say to the camera? 2 of these lambs are hers, 1 isn't, so I guess they're having a sleepover. She really doesn't like face scratches, but she's so comfortable she's not getting up. So earlier I said I'm gonna have to try and take it easy, try and get a little bit healthier here. That is a challenge that I have to face when I work by myself. There is a direct correlation between lambing success and hours in the barn. The potential problems you can spot before they become real problems, making sure animals are not getting into trouble. I'm gonna try and do the best I can to rest. I'm not doing anything too crazy. Thankfully we don't have any big events coming up like moving sheep around or vaccinating or anything like that. So I'm gonna just try and take all my downtime and relax and sleep, and hopefully I'll feel better. We had a nice set of triplets here. I took a nice quiet morning because I'm still trying to get feeling better. Thankfully there's not a ton of lambs. I see 5 in here so far. I am not your mother, buddy. Oh, that one's already sucking. What a good sheep. My luck, she won't have any milk. That just seems to be how it goes, but. I put this girl in a pen last night. She was just acting weird. I thought she was gonna give birth, but I guess she probably just had some bad sushi. I'm gonna kick you out of here and then make some room for the new guys. I usually keep them in the jugs for 2 days, but if they're a young sheep, they are so freaked out by the fact they just gave birth. So I'll give them 3 days if I need to. I had a set of twins over here. These guys are really small. They're 3 days old. And they're getting some energy now, like this guy's looking happy and excited. There's not a whole lot happening today. I kind of like it when it's slower. It's easier to manage the barn when you don't have 30 jugs full. It's nicer for the labor aspect if the lamb further spread out. But it is nice to have all the lambs born within 2 weeks, just for weights, health, and everything. Like this, again, is the first group that's all outside, and for the most part, they're within 10 days of each other. It made for a pretty difficult week there. It was kind of chaotic. Thankfully, I wasn't sick during that at all. That's just a premium picture right there. Both those lambs have RFID tags in their ears, and that means the ewe performed flawlessly, and they're gonna be good candidates for replacements. If I could have 1,000 sheep of this first group, it'd be awesome, but it takes time to develop good sheep, and weeding out the bad ones. If they have a problem at all, or if they don't have productive lambs, or they're not good mothers, they're just gone. There's no second chances. They will cost you money. And obviously they're all settled in nice. There's a couple outlier lambs in here that are not looking awesome. Maybe the mother's sick or something, have a milk problem. It's not uncommon to have mastitis develop. You do the best you can to prevent it, but keep on top of the lambs that start looking hunched up and looking sick. And then if I can, I'll trace them back to who the mother is and determine how she's doing. But I'd say 95% of these are doing awesome and looking good. And you're coming to say hi? Do you have anything to report? It's been a good season for you, hasn't it? And here's that creep feeder that I filled the other day. They've been cleaning up the decocks in it, so I just go through and try and make sure that it's free-flowing grain, and there's soy meal mixed in here too, so that gives them a nice little creep to lick. And as they get a little bit older, I'll convert them to a whole barley and a 32% pellet blend. As much as I hate feed companies, 32% pellet kind of is the best way to do it. Okay, there's LaFonda, the black sheep with her black lamb. That's a nice looking lamb. She's top-notch sheep. This is her 6th time lambing, and I've pulled 2 or 3 replacements out of her that have turned into be excellent sheep. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. You pick your top line sheep and try and work through them. The cats like the sheep. They sleep with the sheep together. Plus the cats like the attention the sheep give them. It's kind of funny to watch them together. I realize I've never spoken about my dogs before, but I do have 3 guard dogs. This is a pen that's not protected by a coyote-proof fence. It's part of my pasture, and I just winter some sheep down here, so these girls are the March/April lambing group. And it gives dogs something to do if they have something to protect. They kind of go stir crazy. I don't let my dogs run around the yard. Hey boys, hi. Because I've got too many acreages around. They want to say hi. Yep, okay. Anyway, I've got 3 guard dogs. 2 of them are very friendly, 1 of them not so friendly. This is Seth and his brother Freddie. They're very friendly. They love me very much. They are mostly Kangal crossed with something, I'm not sure what, but they are white and 4-legged, and those are pretty key features for having sheep guard dogs. They're not very well trained, other than they're just super friendly. But again, they live with the sheep 24/7. They never ever leave the sheep. I guess one day they did when I had to take them to the vet. That was not a good day. So they spend all winter hanging out in this pen, protecting these sheep from coyotes. I have seen coyotes scale this fence. A 4.5 foot tall fence is very easily overcome by a coyote. Once you kind of have issues with predators, you're gonna never have an end to it. The main reason I have these dogs is the adult sheep graze pasture all summer, and these guys cover about 60 acres. Ideally, I need more dogs. That's puppy Sue over there. She's not very friendly, and she's not very big, but she has a big bark, so I guess she's more of an audible guard. Freddie's tied to a dirt bike tire because Freddie gets bored and he decides he needs to chase sheep. So if I tie him to a tire, he can drag that around and it slows him down quite a bit. They just have too much energy and they're too bored. These dogs should be patrolling a quarter section, but they're limited to about 3 acres here. You guys would like some more jobs, wouldn't you? Yeah. They don't know how to sit. They don't know how to stay down. None of that's really that important to me. But when they are on pasture and it's time to go, they do the job. And that's number 1. Isn't that right, Freddie? Yes. They also love me. And it's nice to have a dog you can handle. Something else that's very important that people forget, this is a sheep farm. The sheep come first. These dogs are not people. They're not on the same level as people. And in fact, their well-being is second to the sheep. But if there is a dog that starts attacking sheep or has an issue, that dog is gone. There's no question. If they keep the sheep away from something, if they run the sheep around, more importantly than a dog being free to do whatever a dog wants to do, is the sheep's comfort and well-being. So there has been times where these guys get tied up because they just won't behave. There's a whole science to raising livestock guardian dog. I'm not going to get into that. That is a whole can of worms. I'm not interested. But if you have nothing to do, find some groups on Facebook and read about it. I got these 2 guys from someone who knew how to raise dogs, and basically their instincts take over for everything they need to do. You put them on pasture and they take shifts, they protect the sheep, they never leave the sheep. That's important. I just have to keep up with them all winter while they're bored out of their minds, but they're invaluable assets during grazing season. Did you hear that? You're an asset. And that's right. Also, they are mean suckers. I've seen them go from super friendly to super not. As nice as dogs are and as great as these guys are, I do not trust them fully. They would not be something I'd want to fight with. It's also really important feeding TMR to sheep that you feed them a consistent time every day. I may have fallen asleep trying to get over my fever and sickness. I'm at least 2 hours late for dinner. It would appear that these girls are letting me know their displeasure. Hey, fresh lambs. That's cool. So I'm trying something new here. I've got this product that I found, Lamb Adoption Musk. This is not an ad. I have no idea if this works or not. I think it's like snake oil, basically, based on my experience in adopting calves with frou-frou products. But this one had one single. I'm not sure which one. I would say that one. And this one had twins, and sorry. And this one had triplets. By the looks of things, it's going really well. Hey, get off your brother. So I thought, why don't I spray her down with this adoption musk? You spray it on the nose and both lambs, rather than adding another one to the orphan pen, because she only had one and she had 3, so usually that results in multiple dead lambs and frustration from myself. But we're gonna try this magic aerosol spray and see if it makes a difference.